Good morning and welcome back to Jody Lewis Creations. In today's video, I am going to work on this cover a little bit. I'm having a hard time with this journal, not gonna lie. I don't know why I'm struggling with it. It's not that I'm not in a creative flow after having been gone, because I have all these ideas of all these things I want to do. Hopefully you can hear me. I said I have all these ideas and all these things I want to do. So like, what day was it? Friday, I think it was. The weather was not very nice. And I had this piece of fabric and I absolutely love it. So I started to slow stitch on it. I saw this video and it just really loved it. And I think it was K3N Creations or something like that. Anyway, it was just a really simple approach to a slow stitch pouch. And so all I have left to do is up this side and across this edge. I was trying to keep this frayed edge here, but I don't have any of the blue on the inside because I did it through just the top and bottom fabrics there. So I may fix that. So it's not that I don't have a creative mindset. I do. I want to build stuff. I just have a lot going on. And, oh, is that going to work? Yeah, it's going to work. I never tested it. So it'll look kind of like that when I'm done. I mean, my slow stitching's not great. I'm very novice at it, but it really does help with your mind. But anyway, so I'll finish that probably tonight when we're watching TV. So anyway, the moral of the story is it's not that I don't have a creative mindset. It's that I'm just struggling with this journal and I don't know why. I was trying to talk to Mark about it this morning. And he was like, I know, you keep telling me. And he's not being rude. He's just like, I do. I keep telling him. I'm like, man, I'm having a hard time with this. So I think that the reason is that I am not able to really do lace and trims and sewing and any of that on it. And so maybe I just have a mental block myself. I'm not sure what's going on, to be honest. So enough said about that, I suppose. We're going to move on because I want to get it done. As I said in the last video, which I haven't even posted yet, this is Sunday. Today is Sunday, April 14th. So on Tuesday, I kind of finished a video, but I kind of feel like it was blabbing, so I need to listen to it and do some editing. Do some hard editing, probably. But anyway, so moral of the story is I'm having foot surgery on Tuesday the 23rd, so that's going to have me down for a little while. It's not as extensive as what we had talked about doing or what we had originally thought we were going to do, so in that aspect, that's a good thing. But in the meantime, I have a lot to do to get ready, and it's just going to be a lot to do. I'm not really sure why I keep keeping that parchment paper under this, but I do. So what I want to do here is I want to straighten up these edges. I'm going to have to rebuild up the spine a little bit. You guys know how I do that. And I kind of like to do it a little bit differently than I have in the past. Oh, well, there we go. Okay, well, I'll just straighten that up, and then that'll tell me how to cut this side. I'm getting my cork-backed ruler. If you've been watching me for any amount of time, you know I'm very adamant about if you're using a straight edge and your knife, please make sure you're using your cork-backed ruler. I don't want anybody to get cut or get injured cutting their spines off of their journals. So there's a natural fold here. I hope you can see. There's that natural fold there. But this is so weakened and it's splitting. I think I just want to clean that up. And I think what I want to do is maybe just get a pencil. So funny. I'm really trying to keep this new space cleaned up, and I'm still trying to move out. So I completely moved out of the guest bedroom yesterday because I might have to sleep back there after my surgery, because I don't know how I'm going to be able to sleep. And so I have stuff in the other room, which I would show you guys, but you would probably truly be mortified. It's awful. But I was sorting beads yesterday, and my one dear friend, I had to have been driving her crazy. I was so overwhelmed and I had all of my stuff like in separate bins or separate sections of my bead holders. But it's just not working because I had stuff in bags and I had stuff. Boy, I can't see that bottom one very well. I put some glasses on, that might help. And she's like, well, you just gotta let's just put like with like. And she says, it's a lot of fun to be digging through the beads, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I'm trying to embrace it. Thought I was almost done. And then I found another little thing where I had been throwing beads like when I was working on projects, and I had it sitting on the desk or on the table here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have that many more to sort. But I'm trying to do them in such a way that they'll still fit on the shelf. And I'll just be able to kind of rummage through them and better utilize them, making dangles or adding them to ephemera pieces or whatever. Okay, so I have a firm grip on this ruler, and I'm just trying to get this upper edge. It's like being stubborn. So just clean that up and see, I can still see my pencil mark there. And I don't like that because it means that's not really straight, but that's quite a gap space there. It's gonna go. Oh, I see what it's doing. It's moving over. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. That was probably really gross. My allergies are crazy. Okay. Oh, I saw the prettiest cardinal in the tree this morning. It was a couple, and she's all puffy. I'm thinking that she's probably got eggs in her. But anyway, they're so pretty. I just love watching them. They're just my favorite. So I'm trying to think about my Christmas in July project, and I'm wondering, do I make my cardinal journal this year? But I bought a really, really pretty Christmas digital this winter, and because it's beautiful, but I didn't obviously use it for anything because I didn't make anything like in that regard this winter. Oh yeah, that's gonna be better. And I'm not worried about that little bit that's kind of fluffy on the side there. Anyway, so I'm like, gosh, what do I work on? I'm not sure. Don't know what I want to do. Okay, and this Dumbo spine itself, I'm wondering if I can somehow salvage that and use it on the spine or something. I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm just marking that at 1/8 of an inch again. And then mark down here. So anyway, yeah. So trying to get moved and get the house ready. And I vacuumed all the floors yesterday and got a meal plan. Tomorrow is Monday. I've got to go do all my pre-op stuff. And then Tuesday we have a dentist appointment, which I'm like one of those weird people and I love to go to the dentist. So I'm looking forward to that. And we're going to Costco. So that'll be good. We'll have some stuff here. And then I'll do some meal prep to make stuff easier. Well, that side cut a lot easier. Okay, but I'm going to keep this. Oh, look at those arrows. Oh, that's a lot of fun. That's on the inside of that spine. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Can we pull that out? That is a lot of fun for a piece to use on something. Ooh, I love that. Okay, so I'll set that aside. And there's the chipboard. So now that's more flexible. Yeah, so I think we'll be able to use that on something. Okay, set that aside. Don't need that piece. Set that aside. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'll just use this piece of parchment because it's laying here. Okay, so what my goal is that I've already gently wiped these covers because they were, I mean, they're very well loved. And so I'm going to put my Dollar Tree cutting mat under here just so that it just helps me pick that up when I'm done. And then I'm just going to take my matte medium and I just have it decanted in a smaller bottle. You guys know that if you've been watching me for any amount of time. And I'm thinking I want to use this brush. And these are just little brushes I get at Harbor Freight because then I can just take it down and wash it. And it doesn't have to be a lot, just enough to kind of seal and protect. I am going to put book corners on this when I'm done. So And this is going to seal in that love. And when I was cleaning it, it was trying to take some of the color and stuff off. So since this is going to be a memory book for him, I just want to make sure that it's protected and sealed. And I'm just doing the front and around the edges here. I'm not worried about the inside. I don't think the inside needs sealed. And then I know I'm going to do book corners on the corners. But it is kind of coming apart on the bottom here as well. So maybe doing this will help seal that and protect it. And I'm just looking for, because the lighting is just right, so I can see if there's any dull spots that I've missed. And I may end up doing 2 coats on here, because I'm thinking it might soak in, because this does not have a shiny surface on it any longer. It's quite textured, actually. So I'm just going to do both sides of this and set it aside to dry, and come back in a little bit, add a second coat to it, and see what that looks like. And hopefully I'm not going to get a bunch of brush strokes in it. I'm trying to go both directions to get it all and to get some of those strokes out of it. But I think it's important to protect this cover. So anyway, so I hope everybody's doing well. I don't think I said that. And I hope that your creative flow is going really well. Oh, I tell ya, it's just been, like I said, it's, oh, and something else is, I don't even know, I might have told you in the other video. I don't know. I may not even post the other video. I may just post this one, or use bits and pieces of that one to make another one. But anyway, so Mark was super excited, and he had found me like a newsprint cabinet or an old blueprint cabinet. I'm not actually sure. It's an old Hamilton cabinet. But anyway, and so we spent the night, we had a couple of nice days, and we spent those days out in the barn trying to sand it and strip it, and that's what that's from, is the heat tool. Sorry, I didn't mean to use that finger, but I have glue on the others. Use the heat tool and get like the coats of paint off of it and stuff. Oh my gosh, it's such a pretty piece. It's beat up. I mean, it's been wet, it's beat up, but it's such a pretty piece. And so I think, well, Mark was working on that yesterday in the basement. He brought the drawers in, and he was using some stripper and mineral spirits on the drawers, trying to just get the rest of the paint that I couldn't get off with the heat tool and stuff, and just get it cleaned up. It's going to be such a beautiful piece. So when that's in here, I'll be able to move my stamps in here, which is going to be fantastic. And it's going to be such a beautiful piece. And he's all excited because he knew how much I would love it, and he knew what it was. So as soon as he saw it, he was like, had to bring it home to me. And he calls me on his way home. He's like, I have a surprise for you. It was so cute. And so, yeah, so we had my son come over and help unload it. It was great. And it's such a pretty piece. Like, I'm super excited about it. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm just wiping this excess where I got off the edge here. I'm going to pick this up, hopefully just gently wipe around the inside of this. Maybe I can set it on its edge. Just want to make sure that I didn't get any on the inside there, because I'm not sure yet if I'm going to seal the inside. Okay, so we're going to let that dry. I just put a big fingerprint in that. I can feel it. Oh, a whole hand. Whole hand print in it. Okay. Ah, it's all right. Don't touch it. There's got to be an easier way to do this, but my brain is just like, yeah, right, today. All right, let's just kind of buff out those spots where my hand touched it. It's definitely going to need 2 coats. I can see that it's soaking it in, but that's okay. That just means it's going to have good protection. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry, and I'll put another coat on it, and when we come back, I'm going to look at the fabrics that Mom gave me and see what we want to do with the spine. I'm going to dig out some chipboard. I think that if I go with a 2-inch spine or so. That'll be enough. Maybe 2.5 at the most, or 2 1/4. Lots of space so we don't beat our mouth. And then I can start getting this put together, I think. I don't know. Maybe I will be able to get it done this week. We'll see. Okay, so I have all the matte medium is dry. I took a shower and I hit it with the heat tool. And so I cut these at 9 3/16 because that's the height of my page, right? Well, guess what? The covers are bigger than that. So it makes me think, okay, do I do a hidden spine, which I could do and then still use these, and then I would have a gap at the top and bottom, but I still need that stability for the covers. So I'm gonna set these aside. I'm still going to be able to use these for something. That was just a brain freeze on my part. So let me see. So just note to self, before you go cutting your spines for something like this, just make sure that you're cutting the right height. And it's just been a while, and I know that the covers are typically larger than the pages. I just was not thinking. So, not meaning to sing that. I'm just in a place today where I'm trying to find some joy and happiness. My life is a little crazy right now. I feel like I'm always saying that though. Okay, so this looks like 9.5, but then I think 9.5 is going to be slightly too big. So I do think I'm going to take this to a 1/16 under 9.5. So 9.5 is 8/16. So 9 7/16. So I'm gonna recut these, and I am just using this rotary cutter, and gosh, sometimes I hate this thing. And I say that because it is very difficult to see these numbers. So I decided on a 2 1/4 inch spine. So I'm cutting my 2 1/4 inches. And I just want to make sure that's good and through, because if it's not, then it like doesn't, it leaves like shreds on the side, and it just isn't a clean cut, and I'd like a clean cut. And again, I'm not worried because I'll use the chipboard. It's fine. So what did I say? The 16th below a half, right? And then the other problem with this cutter is that I feel like with this is up, you can see it's not straight here. So I'm trying to line up on this edge that I know is straight. I don't know. I have that Stampin' Up cutter, which I totally love. I'm just not wanting to dull my blade on chipboard if I can help it. The blades are, I bought 2 packs of blades with it. And fortunately, I had a pack of blades in my rigid boxes that I take in the RV, because for the life of me, I can't remember where I stored the other set that I left here. So let's make sure I did that right without another brain freeze. And it looks like we are good. And I may need to trim that a little, but I don't think so. It's hard with, you know, the wear on the book and stuff, but I think by the time I put the book corners on here, it's gonna set fine. So what I have here is just my Line Co. PVA glue. And if you've been following me for any amount of time, you already know where I'm going with this. So I'm just gonna build these 2 pieces and make sure that they're solid together. And my nose is running. The pollen is totally getting me, I swear. And I haven't washed my matte medium brush, so I'm just gonna use it to make sure that I've got good coverage to those edges. Being mindful of the glue that I'm leaving on my parchment paper. I'm gonna have to clean that up because I'm going to continue to use it. But I like to make sure I have plenty of glue on this, because it does soak into the cardstock a bit. And I'm not worried about getting glue you know, on the underside of this or whatever, because it's going to be getting covered with fabric. So just make sure you've got it to all the edges, including your corners. And if you have to add a little bit, that's fine too. So I'm going to line it up. And the PVA, it's a sticky glue. I mean, it works so well. I love this stuff. And then I'm just going to clip it around to make sure it's really put together and it's going to hold. And if you have any kind of error in your cutting, maybe it wasn't straight, it's definitely going to show up in this particular stage, but it's fine. And just making sure that it's pretty even. And again, it's going to be getting covered with a fabric, so it should be fine. I feel like I'm missing a clip. I know I have more of these clips though. There, that's good. Okay, come on, little dude. All right, so that will hold. And the PVA dries really, really quickly. So I'm going to let that dry, put my little glue brush back in these disposable glove. You guys know I use these. They're too big for me to use for anything else, so I use them to hold my wet paint brushes. So I'm gonna let that dry and then I'll be back. So while that's drying, I'll share with you. Mom brought me a couple pair of jeans. And I want to say, these are Grandpa's jeans maybe. And then I have this flannel that I think it was Grandma made everybody matching shirts out of the flannel. So what I'm thinking is that I'm going to use the denim on the outside for sure. And I thought maybe I'd use a little piece of flannel on the inside. It doesn't really flow with the cover, but it is a sentimental piece. So we'll definitely, I was also thinking maybe I could use a piece of this for a pocket on the inside, because there's some pictures of Grandma and Grandpa that maybe we'll use that for. So maybe what I'll do is just use the jean material for the outside. And if I do this right, I could use the seam on the front, and that might be kind of cute. I'll have to cut it quite carefully. Would give me a straight edge if that's long enough. That's getting into the curve of that leg, so I'm not thinking that's going to work for a straight edge, because then it's going to put this on the bias. And see, same on this side, I think. Yeah, they're pretty much cut in the same area of the leg. Okay, but this side is a straight seam, although not as decorative. So whatever, and maybe I won't do that at all. I'll just use a strip from the middle. And so what I'll do is use my rotary cutter and my quilting ruler, and we will get strips cut. Now this is 2 1/4, and I definitely want some overlap, and unfortunately, I think I'm going to cover some of Dumbo's ear, which I hate when I do that I end up. So 2 1/4 is going to be the inside. So 2 and, because 1/4 inch I don't think is going to be enough overlap. Maybe 3/8. So I'll do some figuring on that, but I know here I only have maybe a 1/2 inch, but if I cover just a little bit of his ear, it is what it is. I have to get the spine put on here for sure. So, but I think that the denim is going to be a nice sturdy way to do it. And then also on this outside piece, because I am going to do, I'm almost certain, I'm second guessing myself now if I'm going to do the hidden spine or not, because I have all these super cool buttons. You know, I could do maybe an owl, the 9 3/4, and the Harry Potter on the spine, and that might be kind of fun as a way to use some of these. And then I know there's some stop umming. Yeah. I have to put these back in the right bins. We have a key. That would be cool. And we have all these hearts too that we can use throughout. Because I guess this Kingdom Hearts, it's like keys and cards or whatever. So this would be something to put on the spine as well. So that's something I'm trying to figure out too, is the best way to utilize these, because I'm not doing a lot of dangles or anything like that. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. I feel like there was more in the way of dangles. I just threw a bunch of stuff on the ground. Yeah. There's also, I have to put these back in the right envelopes. We have some gears. Oh, we have some smaller keys. Now that might work on the spine. So, and these gears I need to be using throughout on pages. So I think I'm going to leave those out. Okay, so that's where I'm at with those thoughts. So I'll get these pieces cut and get everything going, and then see where this kind of leads me as far as the spine. I don't want it too busy. The alternative is if I have the, if it's not a hidden spine, then it gives me the stitching to attach these two. But see, they're buttons, so they need to be secured. So I'm thinking maybe I better just go ahead and stitch them to the fabric and do the hidden spine. But that would also allow me to add these as little dangles coming off of the buttons. So maybe I'll do that. I need to make myself a note because I'm gonna totally forget that thought, but I think that's what I'm going to do. Cut the fabric. I'll stitch the buttons down the center of the fabric, or even offset, and then add some keys and charms coming off. It'll be a little bit busy, but it's a way to add these things to the spine without them being on the outside of the pages and books, to have all that, because again, this is more masculine versus feminine, which if it were feminine, we'd have all kinds of dangles and stuff hanging off the pages. So I think that's what I'll do. I think. I could even do a strip. Now that would be too busy. No, I'm not doing that. Although we have this fabric, which might be kind of cool. No, I want to use the denim because it's sentimental. Sentimental. But I can do this and maybe stitch some of these to a pocket on the inside if I do it in such a way that it's not super thick. And then this one, I think I will use as part of the tie to keep it like, and then it can hang down off the tie. I just have to figure out what I can use for the tie that's going to be a little more masculine. So, okay, I'm brainstorming with you, not to just ramble, but just so you know the thought process. I'm just trying to move forward with this, and I would like to get this. My goal today is to get it stitched together, because I think I have all of my pages. I did get all of the pages hinged, I think, and I think if I get it stitched together, I'll be able to tighten these pages up, because see, I've got them sticking out here, but they're not really tight on the inside. And then that way I can figure out if I do need to run something down the edges or trim these off a little bit. So that's my goal. So lots of things in the works here. So I am going to end this video here. That's kind of my brainstorming. I'll get this uploaded. I will listen to the previous videos that I filmed the other day and see if it's something that I'm just rambling too much or whatever. But I think, yeah, I think this is going to work. And because I was organizing my beads and stuff yesterday, I kind of know what I have to work with to make the dangles or whatever. So I think it's going to be fun. I just have to figure out the best way to do it. So thank you for joining me. I hope you're all doing well. I will see you in the next video. Bye. Oh, by the way, I don't ask very often, but please interact with my videos. That really helps my channel. If you give me a thumbs up, that also helps my channel. And if you find any value in it, please tell your friends about me, so that way possibly we can get some more subscribers and just continue to grow, because I do love sharing. And while this particular project is pushing me creatively because it's stumping me, I am enjoying it. It's just, like I said, there's just a lot going on in life right now, and that's okay. And I think that as I am allowing myself just to kind of think outside the box, it's definitely helping me. So I just appreciate the time that you spend with me. So thank you.